All right, let's see. How are we doing? Participants were picking up. We've got 40 folks. We're very glad that you're able to join us today. And we certainly want to be respectful of your evening plans. We're going to give maybe just one more minute as we continue to add a few people. And then we'll get going and let you know all about the exciting stuff we've got planned for you, your Cub Scouts, for the program year ahead, starting with the summer. Um, just to reiterate also, since we already had a question, this is the Cub Scout program kickoff. So if you're mainly interested in Scouts BSA or one of the older programs, we regretfully will not have really anything to offer you for this particular program, but we are happy to answer questions. Probably the best thing to do there is going to be to contact by email teresa.northcutt@scouting.org, and she'll be able to connect you and tell you all about those program age groups for those programs. All right, well, it's 6:32. We're going to go ahead and start. Welcome everybody to our Cub program webinar, where we are going to be sharing with you the plans that we have for the coming program year here in the Capital Area Council for all of our PACs and any neighboring PACs that would like to be able to participate with us. I'm Charles Mead. I'm the Council's Director of Marketing and Public Relations. We're pleased to see so many of you here tonight. And we're going to be running through and introducing to you to several members, both staff and volunteer, who are responsible for putting together our Cub Scout plans for the months ahead, starting first and foremost with our own Jane Walters, one of our top volunteers who's been heavily involved in Cub Scout day camp planning, a lot of the summer program that you took advantage of with adventure boxes in this past year, and a member of our executive board. We also have Shay Mackin, who many of you may recognize as our Cub Scout program ranger out at Camp Tom Wooten, and has been absolutely more than valuable in terms of putting together the weekend programs that we've been offering out at Wooten for the last several months, and will be heavily involved again as we get into the summer with a particular Hawaiian flair for this coming June. I don't yet see Teresa Northcutt, our program director, but a member of our council staff who also oversees the majority of our outdoor programs, and we'll be able to fill in gaps if she is not able to join us after all. Jessica Snyder, who is our Director of STEM Conservation and Sustainability. Jessica responsible for many of not only the STEM programs that we put on, but if you have been out to any of the tree plantings and other conservation events that we've done out at Lost Pines and other properties, Jessica's been the mastermind behind a lot of that. And then, of course, our own Morgan Baxter, who has been heavily involved working with Jane, connected to the Cub Scout Day Camp program, and heavily involved in the Adventure Box program that has been a big success, and I think responsible for helping a lot of our Cubs stay active over the past year. So really our purpose for tonight is to very simply give you a preview of these exciting activities, programs, camps that are coming up here over what we've loosely termed the program year. Normally that would mean starting in the fall, but we're including the summer because I know everybody is very eager to get back outside and to be involved once again in scouting at 100%, or at least as close as we can be. Some important information though before we do get into the meat of the program. You are going to hear in some cases where we don't quite have a registration ready, or maybe some particular details that are fully finalized. A big part of the reason why is we are in the very beginnings of a transition to a new online registration system. For many of you who have been experienced trying to sign up for things in the past, this will be cause for great celebration, because the previous platform, which you may or may not have heard us refer to as Double Knot, while it kind of got the job done, was not necessarily the most customer friendly platform that you'll find. We believe that there is one that we're moving to that will in fact be much more customer friendly, not only in terms of you, the volunteer parents and participants, but also the volunteers who give so much time to actually run and produce these events and camps and programs. We think this is going to be a win-win. It's just going to take us a little bit of time, though, to make that transition, get all of those events built in the new system. So we ask for your patience as we make that transition, but we will get there. The other thing that is obviously very important to note is, the COVID pandemic still is in existence. And while we certainly are happy to hear, as we have, that many volunteers, some of our staff have been able to be vaccinated to this point, we still need to continue working with the idea of being as protective as we can be for as many members of our population as we can be. That also extends to some community partners that we have that help make these programs happen and are in some cases the host for those programs. And they will still have requirements that they need to live up to. So again, we ask for your patience as we sort through all that. And hopefully in the not too distant future, we won't have to be quite so concerned about those matters. So with all of that behind us now, I want to bring in Jane Walters, who is going to tell us a little bit more about what's planned for Cub Scout Day Camp.
We're excited that we're getting to bring back, live summer day camp this summer. We're going to have a few smaller or a fewer number of camps this year, mainly because with COVID, we still have a few people that are hesitant to have us on their camps or their locations. I think what we're going to see as we get closer to summer, that there'll be some camps that we add that people will be reevaluating where they're at, and they'll be opening up locations and things more. But we're planning on coming back with the traditional camp that you're used to seeing. We're going to have some of the camps are going to be a full day camp Monday through Friday. Your 8:30 to 3:30, 8:30 to 4 routine. And then we also have some twilight camps that are planned that are there. We're going to, be doing all of the shooting sports, BB guns, archery. We'll have all kinds of crafts, science activities. We've got the program mostly planned. So really looking forward to that. You'll see registration come online shortly. And the cost is going to be somewhere between $100 and $150 for the two camps. So there'll be times throughout June for you to attend. So we hope that we see you there. We'll have COVID safety officers. We'll be wiping everything down, and we'll keep that camp just as safe as we can for everybody. While we also are having a great time out there doing the things that we love to do at camp.
Excellent. Thank you, Jane. And I know everybody is eager to be back out there and be a walking den leader, right? Absolutely. All right. So we're going to move on now. So speaking of the summer as well, our tremendous amount of work I alluded to earlier that Shay Mackin and her group of volunteers have done in putting together a weekend program out at Camp Tom Wooten. Well, they're going one step beyond that now for this summer and in June, and taking you to the islands. And I'll turn it over to Shay to explain in greater detail.
We are so excited to bring you to the tropical islands and Bastrop Camp Tom Wooten for our Hawaiian Hullabaloo. Our first 2 weekends in June, these are going to be day events. So it's unlike normal summer where it's overnight. These are day events for your entire family. So the whole family, from the baby in the stroller to grandma and grandpa, just like the weekends have been all year, is for the entire family. And because it's a community event, you can invite your neighbor kids or your nieces and your nephews, those who are not yet in Boy Scouts of America, to introduce them to some of our programming, which also then lets them do things like BB guns because it's then a community event. So these are one-day events. We're going to be having the pool open, so we will be doing swimming with all of the option to do all of the aquatics adventures for every Cub Scout rank. We will be having crafts. We're going to be making lava lamps because the island has the lava, and seashell necklaces. We'll be doing BB guns, paddle boats. We're going to be doing fire building. They will be doing fishing and making their own fishing pole. We are currently building a new 36 square foot dinosaur pit where wolves can pass off digging in the past and everybody else can just have fun learning about the dinosaurs and then digging and much more. Let's see, what else are we doing? Oh, we're going to have a monkey bridge over a lava pit that will be built in the next few weeks. We will be having hula hoop contests, and everybody, when they get there, will get their lei with a cool name tag that actually their name will appear via lava heat. So we thought all about how to make it fun for your 2-year-old to your 12-year-old. Even if you've got a Scout BSA that's not over at Lost Pines that week or that Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, bring them on over. I promise you, everyone in the family will have a good time. So it's from 10 to 4, either of those 6 days, the 4th, the 6th, the 5th, the 6th, the 11th, 12th, or 13th. So those are Fridays, Saturdays, or Sundays. You bring your own lunch. That's how we were able to make it so inexpensive. Only $25 per youth and $5 for the adults. So you just bring your lunch and there will be plenty of things to do all the time. And registration is open now. But because of COVID, we have greatly limited the amount of people. Each of those days, we are limited to 60 people total. So if everyone has a mom or dad or a guardian and a kid, that's really only 30 kids per day. So we're thinking this is going to fill up very, very fast. So if you want to, your den, your families to know, let them know as soon as possible and go in and register. We hope to see you out there. Aloha.
Good deal. Thank you, Shay. All right. Well, the next program we're going to talk about is one that is, I think if you've ever gone to it, you would agree is unique in terms of both the program and the activities that it offers, but also the price point for those activities is as good as you can find for any similar camp, but the facilities are absolutely not to be rivaled by any other STEM day camp that you could hope to find out in either Greater Austin or certainly in areas beyond that within our council. And introduce Jessica Snyder, again, our Director of STEM Conservation and Sustainability, to tell you a little bit more about Tech Lab.
Hi, thank you. I am excited to tell you about Tech Lab. We house out of the Anderson High School Applied Technology Center, and we complete merit badges like woodworking, but with CNC lathes, our welding, engineering, where they're actually learning SolidWorks, which is a skill they will be carrying on. With our Cub Scout programs, sorry, that was a bit about our Boy Scout programs, but our Scouts BSA programs, our Cub Scout programs, we are a full day camp. We are fully staffed. We are going to be COVID friendly, and we're going to be covering physics, robotics and programming, digital media, including both photography and movie making, and eSTEAM, which is our environmental STEAM.
And I think if you follow us on either Facebook or the council's YouTube account, you'll see a video that we recently shot with Jessica there at the Applied Technology Center, talking a little bit about some of the robotics programming part of the curriculum. Just give you a little bit of a taste of what that program is all about, but there is a ton more. It's easily one of the, frankly, one of the most ambitious programs that we've put together at the council level, but also I would say one of the most impressive. Jessica, thank you very much. We're going to move now to going back to Jane Walters to tell us a little bit more about a program that can help your unit, your pack, kind of warm itself back up and get ready as you head into the fall and take advantage of these summer programs that we have. You also can get an extra patch for that.
So we're getting feedback that, several of our packs have had a difficult time trying to find a place to meet or difficult times with their chartered organization rep opening up their facilities right now. So we want to help meet that need, or just maybe you just want to find a place to get out of the heat as you work on the Summertime Pack Award. So we're going to offer the Fickett Center conference rooms. They'll be available for up to 3 hours to rent space. The cost will be $50 per room. We're also looking at some different programming packages that we can do. We've got probably about 9 or 10 ideas that we're looking at. We'll probably distill it down to a choice of 4 or 5. But for example, one of them might be movie night. So come in and we'll have everything set up so everybody can kind of stretch out and watch a movie that will be fun for the whole group to do. There's a few other ideas that we're floating around. We want to make sure that it's available to as many packs as possible. So we're going to ask that you only register for 1 night a month if you want to use it. And we're hoping that you will come out to the Fickett Center, use it, bring your pack, have a good time, and come home with a, with our earn a patch that you'll get for achieving the Summertime Pack Award.
There you go. Shay Mackin's going to come back in now, and kind of along these same lines, going to talk a little bit about your pack being able to get back outside and do some camping.
Yes, absolutely. I am getting phone calls and messages almost daily asking, when can we register for next school year for our pack to come back out and camp overnight for the weekends at Camp Tom Wooten? Because we're switching, remember, from Double Knot to Black Pug, we have to move all the facilities and all those things over. Our goal is May 1st, but keep an eye out and we will announce. Charles is really good about letting everybody know when we can now go and register. Now, if you were out there at all in the last about 1.5 years before COVID, you know about the Program Ranger program. So we started this program because what we saw, especially our smaller packs that were coming out to Wooten, did not really have a program to do and were maybe struggling with adventure, passing off, didn't know the nature in the area, things to do at camp once they were there. They just didn't have the manpower. So they reached out to me. I've been doing this for a little bit over 20 years. And so now on Saturdays, I will be available along with some other volunteers to put on program for your unit at a cost on Saturday. And each quarter is a different theme. So September, October, November is going to be our Fall Days. We will have pumpkin painting and sand art. We will have our shooting sports. We'll have gold mining at the mine. Our Indian village, we will have pinch pots, and they'll learn about our indigenous tribe of the Tonkawa. They'll also grind corn and play Native American games. Then there's the dinosaur pit. So I've got the dinosaurs ready to go for your kiddos to dig up. And I even have some cool dino poop and fossils for them to check out and really learn and delve in and see some cool stuff. The dino poop's their favorite, honestly. It's my favorite too. And then other things like a hayride we will have for our Fall Days. It's always a great time at Wooten and getting out there and smelling the things. We also every quarter will have a different conservation project. So ongoing conservation projects so that you can work on conservation for your different ranks. Every Saturday night, I will offer a flag retirement ceremony. So after your own individual unit has their campfire ceremony with their skits and things like that, you can come over and I will offer a flag retirement ceremony for all the kids to participate in and kind of see what that looks like. And then you can take that home and know how to do that in the future for your unit. And then we've got December, January, and February, and that's our winter Wooten Land. And we will change up the craft. We've got our glow in the dark lantern. These actually do glow. And then we've got our loblolly pines in their tents. The kids love these to take into their tent. And again, sand art, because that's a big old hit. And the other difference is we will not be doing those months the hayride or the Indian village. We're going to switch over to the Weeblos. Will be building fires and then doing s'mores and passing off some stuff that way. And then in the spring, we're going to do nature detectives. All right. So we've got nature detectives. We will go on nature hikes. They will learn all about all the local animals with their footprints. what their scat looks like, maybe even what it smells like, all the good stuff. And their crafts those months will be nature and natural dyed neckerchiefs. So they will go home with a neckerchief dyed with things natural from Camp Tom Wooten, along with leather stamping, because everybody wants to bang on stuff. So we're trying to do things quarterly so that you have something different if you're wanting to come out more than once in the year. And you can always email me. I do have a new email. It is smackin@scouting.org. That does not mean I'm an employee just because I have a scouting.org email, because I'm not an employee. They just wanted me to be looped in with some meetings, and I needed to have that special email. So the other thing I can do, even though those are the packaged things, I'm always up for, if you really are having a hard time doing bear claws or another adventure, talk to me ahead of time and we can figure that out. And each of those things would be $7 per kiddo that would be doing it. So that is the price point on that. And then let us know if you have any questions or send me an email.
Excellent. Thanks, Shay. And just to emphasize, that was Randy. Hopefully you heard that. The answer to your question, that yes, in fact, the Ranger program prices that you see here is per scout. So that hopefully clears that up. The one person you haven't heard from yet tonight is going to come in now to tell a little bit about some Deliver the Promise, as we're calling them, events for Morgan Baxter.
Howdy. Yeah. So hopefully we're getting back into the schools this fall. We're going to be out there recruiting. We're get a lot of new families, maybe even some returning families back into the program. And a bunch of you are probably familiar with what we used to call Rocket Days. And that's what this is. We're going to get out there, think those things when you do the scout talks to the cafeteria or classroom to classroom. You go in and you promise those new youth, hey, we're going to go shoot BB guns. We're going to, bows and arrows, launch rockets, those kind of things. That's what these events are going to be. We're looking at least at a council level to do one kind of in the Round Rock Cedar Park area, and then another one, further south down in Austin. There will probably likely still be some district run ones as well, but we certainly want to make sure as a council, we've got a couple of opportunities out there to give those youth the opportunity that we told them we were. We certainly don't want them to join in the fall, and then the next chance they get to do any of that be our day camps in the summer. So as you can see here, we're really targeting that last weekend in September, and then that first weekend in October, a Saturday and a Sunday. So it won't be both the 25th and the 26th and the 2nd and 3rd. It would likely be a combination of like the 25th and the 3rd, or the 26th and the 2nd. And we'll move those locations. So times typically we'll have to announce those still, but we've generally done it from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's a pretty good time for us and for our families. And then cost, really try to keep that low. In the past, I think it's even been free for the new youth. So we'll probably look at that as well. And then the cost has really usually been associated with, buying an extra rocket or something like that. So we're really looking to put on an event that just get out, come as you go, have fun for, an hour, maybe two, and then, kind of go on about your weekend. We'll have that registration open closer to the fall. We want to make sure it's open in time for you to get your promotions going and your new youth recruited.
All right. Thanks, Morgan. One thing, Chris Amon, you had posted asking to share Shay's email, and I clicked the wrong button there. I clicked to answer live instead of type in. So would you mind reposting that question? And this time I'll do it right. And I did misspeak earlier. You actually haven't heard from two people. There was Morgan, but also Teresa Northcutt, our program director, has not yet joined us, but she is going to be doing so now and telling you about the Pumpkin Palooza event for this fall.
Good evening, everyone. This is one of my favorite events to host in the fall. Our Pumpkin Palooza is a fall festival themed event we host out at Smile & V. This is a community event, so it is open to everyone. It doesn't matter if you're a registered scout or not. We will be bringing back our overnight this year, so you can expect our costume parade as well as the tent tour treating. It's a lot of fun when all the parents get out there and decorate their tents while the kids are away watching movies, and then they get to go back and be surprised by it as well. It is October 23rd to 24th, $10 per youth, $5 per adult. We keep this very, very low. Troop 196 has graciously offered to provide support for this event. They help us every year. We will have our pumpkin painting, we'll have BB and archery, hopefully some slingshots. We do the screen printing, glow-in-the-dark screen printing on t-shirts. Our STEM committee supports us with a lot of great activities, and it's just a really fun afternoon and overnight event.
Thank you, Teresa. A lot of you have heard about summer Cub Scout Day Camp, but maybe not winter Cub Scout Day Camp. Jane Walters is going to come back here and she's going to educate you on what that's all about.
We're going to try something new this year. We're going to try winter camp for Cub Scouts. And it's going to be different in several different ways. One is it's going to be right before Christmas, December 20th through 22nd. And we're going to look at bringing in a fully paid staff. So this would be a chance of, as the family's getting ready for Christmas, this would be a way to, send your scouts out to have a good time, especially as they're all excited, getting ready for Christmas and anticipation. And you might have a chance to do some last minute Christmas shopping or just enjoy the Christmas holidays. But the dates are going to be December 20th to 22nd is what I said. It'll be from 8 to 4 p.m. We are looking at a location. It's going to be one camp. It's probably going to be somewhere we think in the Round Rock area that we're doing it, and you'll start to see registration open up on August 1st. So we're excited to give this one a try and see what everybody thinks about it.
Thanks, Jane. I did notice that we've got some additional participants from when we started. If you missed the very beginning, we are in fact recording this program, so we'll be sharing that as well as the slide deck from tonight. So you, even though you may have joined us a little bit late, you will not miss any of this information. We'll have that shared and updated on our council website. Plus, I know there are additional plans to make sure that you all get these slides so that you can not only be educated yourself, but also share that with other folks in your pack. So everybody will be able to get their calendars together and make plans. I'd like to bring Teresa back in now. She's going to tell us about the plans for Report to State, which we will, we're looking forward to having back in person again.
So this is a great event to see how big our scouting community is here in Texas. You get thousands of scouts from across the state come and join us on the Congress Avenue Bridge and marching up to the state capitol to celebrate what scouting is in our community and what we do in our communities. So in conjunction with the parade that goes up to the Capitol, we have a gathering of eagles, we have a spirit rally, and then of course the delegates from each council in Texas do their report. So we're looking forward to having this event back again. It's a fun event. It's, like I said, it's a great opportunity for Cubs especially to see how big the scouting world is. And it's amazing the people you see out there. It is just an awesome event.
Thanks, Teresa. Looking over in the Q&A, I do note a point that Stacy wanted us to make sure that we made very clear, and that's, if you remember back to Shay's mentioning of the program that we're doing that's called the Hawaiian Hullabaloo, the Cub Scout program there in June at Camp Tom Wooten. Anybody can come, and you don't have to be a registered member of the program. So if there's a friend, a buddy that you want to bring along with, and hopefully they have a great time and decide they want to join as well, or maybe a younger sibling who is obviously not a registered member at this point, they're all welcome. They do need to be registered for the event ahead of time in order to attend. But distinction there between not being a registered member versus being registered for the event itself. So the next thing that we're going to tell you about is, again, something that's a little new wrinkle. I'm going to bring Morgan back in to tell you about our shooting sports day camp.
Yeah, so a new thing we haven't really done before, but we're looking at utilizing spring break. Certainly a bunch of you will be traveling and on adventures outside of scouting at that time frame, but I know a lot of you will still be here in the local community. So we want to offer an opportunity for your kids to come out and earn some shooting sports awards. So we're going to be working through those. We'll have more information as time comes along. Again, we're trying to put this in our population center versus, having you go out to camp or something like that, so that it's easily accessible something you can get out to. We still got to confirm some locations and some things like this, but it is something that we're planning to put on.
All right, thanks, Morgan. The next thing we want to tell you about is a program that may be one of our best known secrets, or most I've obviously butchered the phrase, but I'm going to bring Jessica back in and she's going to tell you better than that about Stemboree.
Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once here. So Stemboree is in March, and it is a Cub Scout STEM event, although we do have a few BSA classes, and we cover mostly the NOVA awards. So if you're looking at completing any of those NOVA awards, want to learn about becoming a Supernova mentor, or pick up any tips or tricks about completing the NOVA STEM program, please come and join us at the Thicket Center. Actually, I think this next year we will be at Smiling V for an overnight event. So we will have an astronomy night along with our NOVA activities.
All right. Well, we're almost done running through. It's been a lot. I hope that you're excited and that you've heard at least a few things that you'd like to be able to go and do with your pack or your individual Cub Scout so far, but not quite done yet. This past year, we introduced this idea of the Cub Scout Adventure Box, and it was extremely well received. We wound up sending these things not only across our council, but practically kingdom come. Just many, many states, easily more than 25. Morgan was involved in this creation, as well as Jane, as well as Jessica, and they're going to tell you a little bit sort of about the next phase of this program.
Yeah, so they're still going to be rank specific. Nothing as far as the concept and how they're built is really going to change on that front. You're still going to get the materials, self-directed activities. We still plan to produce the books that come in them. We're actually working to bolster them, make them better. Jessica has a team she's working with to actually add some STEM materials and really build those up to be an even better program than what we had before. The YouTube video playlist will still be there. We're going to make those a little more easy to access by putting them on the website this go around versus having them in the book with the links. We know that was a struggling point for some. And it's still going to follow along with the Scout Rank book. So nothing on this part is really changing. So if you're familiar with them in the past, they should still pretty much feel and operate the same. Charles, can you click to the next?
Sure.
Again, where can they be completed? Hopefully we're back to in-person meetings this year. Be great. Everybody gets their box. They bring it to them with the meeting. Same as, you would bring a baseball bat or a glove to baseball practice or a soccer ball to soccer practice. You bring your Adventure Box kit with you to a Scout meeting. If for some reason we're still not back to that, they're still there for virtual meetings. It's hybrid, any combination that you found that worked for you this past year, or maybe even some new creative ones.
We're big on creativity. We've had to be over the last year, no doubt about that. So let's go. And Morgan, I think there's a little more here, as well as you've got one more element to talk about after this too.
Yeah. So, again, this kind of talks a little bit about what we did this last year, and it's going to stay the same. We're still not going to put things like scissors and crayons and pencils probably in the box, those kind of household items. And then there's just some things that we can't do at home, like swimming or camping, but we are, with the rest of our events, trying to make sure we fill those gaps. So for an example, with Shay's events this summer, they actually have an opportunity for you to check off your swimming requirements. So as a council, that's where we're going to be offering those opportunities and pieces. I'll talk a little bit more about how you can find out where all those things are. But we are doing a better job, I think, this year with some of our person stuff, making sure that you have the full program available to you. Here's just a list of advantages. I don't want to read through this. I think a lot of you probably have done this in the past year and you've kind of figured out what does and doesn't work for you. But if you're new to it, certainly take some time to look at this slide. Ordering, so we're going to keep them at a cost of $50. It's still going to be your guidebook, your materials, the playlist. It will still include the shipping. And then again, the customer service, if your box goes missing during the shipping process or something, we'll certainly do our best to get you another one out in a timely manner. There to answer questions, if you've got some concerns with the program, or maybe you don't understand how a piece was supposed to work, we're certainly here to help make sure that that works for you. We will start taking orders in May, towards the beginning, hopefully May 1st. But like we alluded to at the beginning of this, we are switching systems. There's going to have a whole trading post that goes with it. So we still got some kinks to learn and work out there. But we view having that up and ready towards the start of May, and then start getting orders out towards mid to late May to have them there for you by basically the time school gets out, June 1st. See a question over here. The boxes between Webelos and AOL are different, and they were both pretty popular this last year, so we intend to keep them that way. Big changes are there will no longer be 2 boxes. So this past year we had a required box that had all the required elected or adventures, and then 2 elective adventures. We've decided, and then our second box was elective adventures only. We've decided to do away with the second box. What we're doing is moving a lot of those electives that, especially the ones that didn't have physical materials and were more of our workbook, over to the required box. So it'll actually have more in it than it did this past year in most instances. From there, we are then taking the electives that did have materials and building them out a little bit more, make them a little bit more robust, but they'll be available as add-ons. So you'll be able to pick and choose when you buy your box or anytime after to go in, decide, I really want to do this elective. This is something my child's passionate about, but I don't want to pay $50 for a second box. Great. You're not going to have to. You go in, you pick the electives you want, and we'll ship them to you. Along with that, we're also going to take and package some of them with the Nova Awards, and you'll actually be able to achieve some of the Novas this year. There will be slight price differences in these, but our goal is to keep them on the lower cost end. We want to make sure that they're as available to as many families as possible. If you order the add-ons or the Novas when you order your box, we will include them in the box. There will be no additional shipping. If they're ordered at a later date and time, we'll certainly make them available for pickup. But if you're not going to pick them up, we'll have to factor in some level of shipping there. The Nova Awards, like I said, they're not quite a box, but they'll be more in depth than just a normal add-on would be as well. But really, this should allow you to kind of pick and choose your adventure and really kind of chart your path forward through the year. The last resource really want to talk about that we're adding is kind of a catalog. It's going to be everything we talked about tonight. It's going to include some popcorn, membership, some other pieces out there to really help you plan out your next year as a unit or even a family. It's going to talk about if you attend an event, what you can expect to check off and achieve there, or if it's just an event for having fun. It'll have details on camps and those kind of things. And it'll kind of let you pick, say, here are the adventures and the requirements, the patches, the Nova Awards, the Summertime Pack Awards that we want to achieve this year. You go in, you pick it out, it'll formulate your program, and it'll give you a suggested calendar on how to go about that, as well as utilizing the box in with that. So hopefully that's a value to y'all. We want to make sure we put that out there, really help you plan out as you go through the year. It'll have cost breakdowns and finances and stuff in there as well. Lastly, we are going to send these slides and the recording out. I know that was asked already. And in there, I'm going to include a quick little survey, 2 or 3 questions. One of the big questions I want to ask is, what is it as a leader or a parent that you're really looking for? Maybe it's something we don't offer. Maybe it's just a resource that exists and we haven't done a good job of getting it into your hands. But just kind of a quick feedback, 1 or 2 questions, maybe 3 of really, what is it that we can do better? How can we continue to serve y'all? Lastly, I'll open it up for any Q&A that we may have. I know we've been answering a lot of questions as we go along. I'll start with kind of the summer camp, really targeting next Friday to have all that information, details for the camps we're operating, contact information, a list of them. There is a list of which camps we have currently up and operating in this slide deck. If you're at least familiar kind of in the past with those locations, but we do still have to get those up and running. The Unity Church of the Hills is still a camp we're trying to secure the location for. Unfortunately, we don't have that location secured at this point, and we're not going to open any registrations until we can at least secure the location. We certainly don't want to put a bunch of camp options out there and then have to cancel on you. The boxes will roll out towards the end of May. The catalog, we're looking for the start of May on that as well.
Morgan, I'm not sure, Kelly Hurd had asked, when will we get details on this camp? And it popped up while you were talking about the adventure boxes. So I'm not sure if that's what Kelly was referring to, or she were referring to Castleton. So that falls into that day camp discussion there. And Morgan, just for the sake of clarity, you said that the day camp information, we're aiming for that to be ready when again?
By next Friday, on next Friday. Kelly, I got to sit down with the leadership for that camp, finish putting their registration together, and then theirs will be ready to go.
Charles,
yeah, go ahead, Jen.
I'm not sure if the slides were up, the first one that we did for summer day camp, because I saw a thing asking about publishing the slides, but the camps that we did have was on it was on slide 4.
Okay, well, we can certainly go back. As far as I know, they were up, but no problem. There's the slide with those camp locations if you did not see that earlier. So
and we're still working to add some more to that. Those are the ones that we have for sure nailed down. So those are the ones we put on here for this evening. We will make sure all the links are available. Hopefully they'll be in the catalog. You will have to create a new account since it's not double knot with the new black plug system and get that. I'm sure and we will do a pretty hard push as a council, letting people know that we've switched systems and where all the new links and everything are. That's Charles, it's kind of your department if you want to.
Sure. Well, and the, one of the things that we'll be doing as well as we migrate into this new system is changing over, for those of you familiar, which I hope you all are, with our council's website. As it exists right now, we have a calendar feature where in most instances, the items that are listed are generally connected to a registration link. You would click one of these and then it would pull you to the actual registration. Of course, all that's right now in double knot. Eventually, there'll be a similar calendar feature that we'll have on the site that we will migrate over once we have fully transitioned into the new black plug platform. And of course, the other thing is for all of, if you're not familiar, this under activities tab on the website, Cub Scout activities, we have a listing here of all of certainly our regular programs that we have done historically. We'll be adding as we get the details finalized for some of those other programs that have been described, like for instance the shooting sports days for Cub Scouts. And on those pages, we will make sure we still have the information here for day camp from last year, since we have not yet been able to finalize a lot of the details. But you'll see a similar idea where we'll be having links there from that page to be able to allow people to sign up. So at least it will be there, but obviously the catalog was another idea that was developed this year, just so that we're ultimately trying to make things easier for you and make it to where there's no reason why you can't get to the program that you want to go to. And we'll pause here. I guess, Morgan, if you had something else, I'm just checking to see nothing, no other questions so far, but if anybody has one, please feel free to use that Q&A feature.
And I'll make sure to include everyone's contact information on the panelists so that if you do have questions, you can reach out to us.
So here's Morgan just coming in from the, where will the catalog posts? Are these only available in the adventure boxes?
I'm not sure I have an answer exactly on where we'll post it. Certainly we'll be emailing it out to the group that signed up for this webinar. So you'll get it that way. We'll put it on the council page. I've got to work with Charles. We're probably going to have a new page. I'm sure he'll love that. to kind of help direct you to the multiple different things we talked about tonight, so that you don't have to individually hunt each of them down. And then it's not just adventure boxes. Certainly it will have kind of a, with the adventure boxes, you should be working on these activities this week and this activities this week. And then the next week is your pack meeting. And then the week after that, you work on these activities. And then that weekend you go to this. That's kind of how it should build out for you. If you're not doing the adventure boxes, great. You won't check that part, and it just won't build that part out for you.
One thing I want to make sure that everybody knows about is we try to be as complete as we can in our council's monthly newsletter that we email to the folks who have signed up for it. And you can bet that everything that we've talked about here, when there are registration links or those programs coming online, it will be included in that. It's typically sent out in the middle of the month, usually around the 15th or as close as we can get to that. The way that, if you're not already signed up for it, the way that you can do that is, again, visit the council's website, bsacac.org, and then go all the way down to the bottom here, and you see this sign up for updates in the lower right corner. If you type in your email address and click submit, you'll be given the option to sign up for the Cub Scout newsletter and any of the others. There's about 10 to 12 different subject areas. If you'd like to sign up for those too, you can. But that's one of the best ways to guarantee that you hear about the latest news that we have, not only just on events and camps to sign up for, but additional information that's out there that we feel is important for you to know about. There's a Cub Scout version, and if anybody is involved in a Scouts BSA troop, venturing crew, Sea Scout ship, there's also an older programs version where we split it out. So if you sign up for that older one, you're not going to get Cub Scout material there. But similarly, if you're interested just in Cub Scout material, then you'd want to sign up for that Cub Scout newsletter. There's also the question here, a way to sign up for the individual district newsletter. Several of our districts are just excellent in, they do a district level newsletter as well. I know in the case of Armadillo District, they also do a similar split like we do, where there's Cub Scouts and an older program version. Almost all of them try to send theirs on the first of the month. So we break it out to where we're not hitting you with everything at the exact same time. The best thing to do there is to follow up on your district website. Most of them have a link to be able to sign up for their newsletters there. If you can't find that, then the best thing to do would be to look for the information to contact your district commissioner, who should be linked on that page, or your district executive, and they'll be able to get you connected and signed up as they have their systems set up. So I guess unless there are any other questions that pop up here, Jane, any sort of closing thoughts here? This is quite an ambitious schedule, but I think one that a lot of folks are going to enjoy.
You know, I think that we got all kinds of fun things for everybody to do. So you may not be able to participate in every single event that we've got, but we've tried to offer enough events that you have a big variety of different things that you can do to kind of mix things up for your scouts. So it's not just all den meetings, but they have an opportunity to do things with the den, the pack, and some of the council activities that we're doing. And, you know, we want to be there to support a fun program that's going to keep everybody smiling and having a great time. So we look forward to y'all participating.
All right, just two last bits of business. I want to make sure, because there was a comment and didn't follow up on it earlier, the Tech Lab STEAM Day Camp that we have is similar to that, the Wooten Summer Program, where you do not have to be, a child does not have to be a registered member of Scouting in order to attend that camp. Now, they do have to register for the camp, but they don't have to be a registered member. So absolutely want to make sure that as many youth as possible can get in and take advantage of that program, because it's just outstanding. The other thing that I want to note, here's a question from Randy Hughes real quick. Will Scouting days at the various sporting events return this year? Similarly, Round Rock Express overnight. Good questions. that we don't know just yet. As you can imagine, I know minor league baseball just released a schedule, and they've also had some turnover. I know specifically for the Express, they've had turnover in the front office. The gentleman who used to be our contact there with the club is no longer, sadly, employed there. So we're kind of working on reestablishing as all of those sports get set up and ready to go. You know, I know there'll probably be a lot of people who are interested in Austin FC, the MLS soccer franchise that's building the new stadium and getting ready to have its debut season. We haven't been able to make contacts there just yet. Of course, most of the UT sports are still dealing with a limitation to the number of people that they can have come into their different arenas and stadiums. So the short answer is we don't have those yet, but I would anticipate that it won't be too long before we start seeing some of that come back. And of course, when we do, we'll make sure that we're sharing that through the Cub Scout newsletter and on social media as well. So we'll make sure that we let you know about that. Let's see. And I think that largely covers everything. We thank you all so very much for giving us some of your time this evening. We hope you've heard something that you're interested in and hopefully more than one thing that you're interested in and you'll take advantage of. I will make sure that we have the recording of this webinar up tomorrow on the council's YouTube account. That's youtube.com/Capital Area Council. And remember, capital is with an OL at the end of it. And then I'm sure that eventually we'll also get that shared along with the slide deck, as Morgan mentioned earlier, with everybody who attended tonight. All right. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and break it for this evening. Thank you, everybody, and have a great rest of your evening.